Might put it back on. It's a little bit cold.
Yeah, Jorge just got this humongous jacket from what's the company?
The feed.
The Feed.
Everybody knows what the feed is. It's like a more popular brand for runners.
So we're gonna check real quick to see it. Yeah, it looks like we're live. Let me check the volume. Let's see. Looks like it's kind of a little laggy. So I don't know if it's my phone or that. Can you check your phone real quick?
Yeah.
So yeah, we are here in San Diego, guys. We're gonna interview Jorge. We're just double checking, make sure everything's working, and we're waiting for a few of you to log in and hopefully get something out of this interview. Few of you to log in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
looks
working.
looks good on mine.
All right, so here we go. How about it's the center? We don't have a.
Yeah, it looks all right.
Our engineer didn't show up to work today. Our team, our podcast team, the engineer didn't come to work today. Is it centered? Let me see.
Yeah, it looked fine. We were both in the image.
Let's see. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
All right, so here we are in San Diego. It's now the officially what is it? Fall, winter? It's
It's
cold.
winter. It's
It's
cold.
pretty cold, and I'm gonna let him introduce himself. So speak into the mic and let him know who
Yeah,
you are, man.
my name is Jorge Lopez Lopez. It's two Lopez's, and I'm 20 years old, and I am from Phoenix, Arizona. Born there, and I grew up in Nogales, Sonora. And I grew up there for most of my life, which is why I'm really good at both English and Spanish. And I just like running, so I guess that's why I'm here. Just really like running.
Yeah, and just so a little cultural background, just so you guys, if you notice, he has the same last name. He has Lopez Lopez. His parents are not related, or
Hmm.
so we think, but that's very common that we have a lot of people with the same last names. Just a little side note. So the first thing I wanted to ask him, so right now, why are you in San Diego?
I'm in San Diego because I'm stationed here. Well, in Oceanside, I'm a Marine, so that's where I'm stationed is in Camp Pendleton.
So what I wanted to get from him, and one of one of the biggest thing that I think I was interested in when I met him is in the world of ultra running. Myself, I'm 46, and most of my friends either are a little older than me. Some people are already 50, and some are in their mid 30s. But you have a few people, obviously, that are doing like 100 milers that are like even 18, but it's not that many. I will say that when I look at the demographics from ultra sign for my race in particular, everybody falls, the vast majority of it fall in between the age of 30 and 50, kind of like right there. And we do get some people in their 60s doing the race, but again, that's one of the things that why it draw my attention to bring him on and learn a little more about him. And mainly, if any of you have kids around that age, I have two sons. They're 18 and 21, and I'm very proud of them, very blessed. But I know that in general, that kind of age right now, man, is difficult for you guys. You guys lived through most of you guys through high school. You were during the COVID era. A lot of you guys didn't have graduation, so I do think it's very challenging for them. So, for him to be in the Marines and doing ultras, that's kind of what I'm more interested to learn about it. So I want to ask him right now. So during high school, let's go back to high school. So during those years, what were you do? What was your hobby during like freshman year? What were you doing?
Freshman year, I was just trying to get the hang of high school. My hobbies didn't just mostly playing video games all day long, and soon started smoking and hanging out with the wrong crowd just for you know just get a sense of community and trying to fit in and stuff like that. And
What
I
was your
did pick
favorite game?
Fortnite and Minecraft and
Minecraft.
Call of Duty for sure. Fortnite was I wanted to be a professional Fortnite player.
Okay, so that's what I was getting at. So, what were you thinking? Because again, a lot of times when they ask us, "What are you gonna do when you grow up?" We don't really know, but okay, well there you go. So he wanted to be a professional Minecraft player, and so playing video games, smoking, any fitness.
None. I sucked at what I wanted to do, which is I also wanted to be like Messi. Growing up, I was like, I want to be a soccer player. I want to play like Messi, and I got not kicked out. Didn't never got accepted into any soccer team. So I mean,
So did you do that for all through high school? When did they recruit it? How did you even? When did you think that you thought the Marines was an option?
it was way after high school. So okay, so yeah, I'm gonna go talk now actually about my whole high school. So because of COVID, um, I did about only about 6 months of actual high school and freshman year, and then we did all the rest in online, and um, they switched us to sophomore year. I switched to a different school. In this new school, I did the same thing. I kind of slacked off the whole time. I never did anything but just smoke weed. I started selling weed too. I started.
Don't
Um,
incriminate yourself, man.
no, no, it's out there. The Marines know.
Do
Everybody
they
knows.
know?
Yeah,
Okay.
the recruiter knows.
So slanging a little bit of weed. What else?
And that's pretty much it. I did have a good thing going on, was cutting hair. I picked that up at very young age, which is I think the one thing that kind of saved me from going too deep into that stuff because I
Hmm.
didn't have anything else going on for me. Um, and so around sophomore year, you do all that stuff. You get a girlfriend, and I had a girlfriend until about junior year, and then we broke up, and then pretty sure most kids my age have that experience, and it sucks. And that kind of just like brought stripped my ego because around that same time I kind of quit that job at the barber shop and I kind of just started going downhill, started just spending all my money on smoking and just not doing anything for myself and just surviving and just not doing anything. So um I think some things happened in my life that made me realize, like, not made me realize, more like I saw videos on YouTube would pop up. Like I would see some philosophy videos, some videos about my name is the Ultra Yogi on Instagram. So I saw this video, this documentary called the Yogis of Tibet, and that kind of got me into yoga and meditation, which is what started my journey towards stopping smoking weed and trying to change my life. I got kicked out of the high school, but they never accepted me into any other high school. The only reason I graduated high school is because the recruiter, he said, I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna put you in an online high school. You have to do some assignments and then they'll graduate you.
But at this point, you're not even at a. You never really went to an actual high school, right? You're at home. So even when you get kicked out, you're not getting kicked out of nowhere physically. You're like at home anyways, right? You're not at a
I
physical.
wasn't physical high school for
Oh, you got
probably
back.
about a year and a half, and it
What,
was still with the mask because it was with all that crazy
what was
stuff.
that junior year or sophomore? Or,
I It was sophomore and a little bit of junior year. All
okay.
of my sophomore year, I was in an actual public high school. Freshman, half of it public, the other half online. Sophomore, it was all public, and then junior, that's the beginning of juniors when I got kicked out, and I never did a senior year. I don't know what graduation is. I don't know what prom is. I don't know what any of that stuff is.
Yeah, that's kind of sad, man. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, that happened to a lot of people. They did like their graduation online and did just some weird shit. So I do really believe that for the current generation, anyone currently, like anyone in their 17 through like 23, maybe all of the gap of age, like they didn't have a normal high school like some of us did. So I do feel like as a lot of the social skills are not you just don't really have them because
Mm-mm.
you're online. You're just not even out of your room. I remember like even my kids' teachers, like I could just hear them complaining that turn on your camera and like stuff like that. So I do think it's very unfortunate, but it's also just life's challenges, right? And I was also curious when I first met through online when you signed up for my race, your handle on Instagram about the yogi, because a lot of the stuff that you're doing currently, he's in a group with a lot of us from our team, and the age gap is like father and son age type of deal. So a lot of the things that a lot of my friends and a lot of people in the fitness ultra community are doing is like all that stuff for recovery, all the nutrition, the meditation. You don't really see many 20-year-olds doing that kind of stuff. Yoga. I actually don't even know any other 20-year-old that talks about meditation or yoga. So that's when I know like I think he's a pretty special individual. Um, so you did say about the recruiter, right? But did you reach out to a recruiter or they just went to
Yeah,
your
okay, so let
how
me
did you
go
bump into
into
him?
the story on how I decided to even become a Marine in the first place. So that started with me. I came across David Goggins' story and podcast, and I'd never heard about this guy. I was in this stage where I was trying to change my life a little bit, and I was listening to a podcast every day. And soon enough, his came up, and from the moment his voice came on, I could not stop listening to him and learning, and then changing my mind from that day on. And I bought his book, and one of the first things, like the challenges, he has like challenges in his books, is like bring out a piece of paper and write down where your life is going, what are the odds stacked against you, what do you want to do with your life. And I was like, fuck, now I just want to read the book. I don't want to be told to do anything already.
Right.
So I was like, I'll do it. And I'm writing down, hey man, I like cutting hair. Maybe I want to graduate high school, and I want to get my barber's license, and I want to cut hair. I love to do that, so that's what I want to do. And I started making moves into doing that and looking into barber school and all that kind of stuff. But then as I kept reading the book, starts talking about Navy SEAL training. And I was like, man, when I read that part, I was like, man, that's what I need to do. I need to go through that suffering. I need to go through that so I can become a better person and overcome myself and see how much I can push my limits and see how what can I become. And I had these glimpses of what I can become. And it sounds a little bit cringy, talking about David Goggins and stuff like that because he's so famous now. But 3 years ago, when I first listened to him, he was already popular, but he wasn't that popular, and I didn't know he was that popular. It changed my life, and I was like, man, I want to be a Navy SEAL. But then I looked at how gruesome it was. Like, I don't need to go through all that. I was like, dude, I don't want to do all that. It's too crazy. So I was like, I didn't know what the Marine Corps was. So I was like, what are the different branches of the military?
Hmm.
And I just clicked on the Marine Corps, and looked a little bit into it, saw that it was the longest boot camp that they had, and I was like, oh, this is pretty challenging. It's not going to kill me. And I contacted the recruiter. I think he hit me up that same day. I don't know if it's that same day or the next day. And we talked, and he's like, so what do you want to do? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I want to shoot guns, or I don't know. I want to do something cool. I want to be a sniper. And he's like, yeah. And so he started asking me all these questions. Have you graduated high school? I
Hmm.
was like, no. So he started helping me out, and that's when I started to start studying and training to go to recruit training. And I remember the first day that I was like, I'm gonna be a Marine. I went for a run, and I was like screaming, aye sir, like across the streets. I was running to the gym. It was like a mile and a half.
Uh,
I was like, aye sir. I was like, I guess I'm training for what I'm gonna be doing there. So it was pretty cool memory, and I got to the gym, and I said, "Oh my God, I ran a mile and a half." I was like, "Oh my
Mile.
God, oh my God, a mile!" I was losing my mind over the fact that I ran a mile and a half. So okay, then I started studying. Studying was the hardest part. I hate studying. So
Study for what?
the ASVAB test, and
So they have a like literature or some type of assessment that besides physical.
yeah, so the ASVAB is like it's like a SAT
Oh,
basically.
okay,
It's
okay.
like a high school test. It's just math and stuff
Hmm.
like that. And I did pretty bad on it, but it was good enough to get me in and to just send me away. So
What year was it? How old were you when you officially decided to
I
join the
was I was
Marines?
18. I was 18, and I graduated the day after my birthday.
Oh,
So
shit.
that was
When
pretty
is your
cool.
birthday?
June 6th. I graduated June 7th last year. Yeah, March 2020, June 2024.
Thank you. You know how you were talking about, that you now you're gonna be a Marine, but did you watch any of the military movies? And was there anything? Did you watch any military movies? I know, like, have you ever watched Full Metal Jacket?
So I'd watched military movies. Obviously, they're popular, but I've never watched. My thing was I don't want to look into it. I don't want to look into the training too much. I don't want to.
You want to find out?
I want to find out, and I looked into it a little bit just to see what am I really getting into. They would show me videos. I was like, I don't care. I didn't have a phone. First of all, I actually didn't own a phone for a long time, and I was getting so tired of the distractions on my phone that I ended up actually going on a run. I grabbed it, and I broke it
Oh
on the
shit!
trail. It was like a flat trail, but I stabbed it, and I had like a month of peace. And I was just like, I'll do whatever it takes. So I didn't have a phone. That's why I didn't. I was so locked in this period of my life. Man, I was meditating sometimes 4 hours a day.
That's crazy
Like I
though.
would meditate all day long.
I The reason I even asked if you're watching the movies because I wanted to ask you whatever your perception of of all the reasons you signed up. I know you did tell the recruit about you want to shoot guns, be a sniper, and of course, all of us we watch. I think most men, boys, we like the action movies. For us, I think maybe Rambo and all those movies were back in the days. But I did watch like Full Metal Jacket. But I wanted to ask you, I guess, what was your perception going in? But once you were in boot camp, and now that you graduated, was what was the difference between what you thought you were going to be
Yeah.
doing and what you're doing now?
Yeah, it was totally different. So I never watched any movies, and once I got there, it was mostly marching and drill. So you're marching all the time, everywhere you go, you're drilling, and you're always screaming. Your voice is always like a frog voice, like like because you're always screaming, and so it.
When you say drilling, and again, I think a lot of us. I was never in the military. Some people think I was because of the other events we do, but I was always intrigued, and I have a lot of respect for anyone that serve their countries. Uh, but so if I ask anything, it's just clarification because maybe not a lot of people know that. But when you say marching, I think we all know walking, with your rug. But when you say drilling, what is it that you're drilling?
Yeah, so marching and drilling. I mean, drill is like what you see the Marines do, like at the parades and stuff like that, where they're walking, but like very uniform, very disciplined looking, and like they do like the
Chanting.
yeah they chant the ditties and all that stuff. I'll show you videos later so you get an idea. But that's if you're a Marine or you know somebody, you know what drill is, and we would do that all the time. And it was not till the third phase of boot camp, or one of the last phases, when they send you up to Camp Pendleton, that you start shooting for reals, and then you do all like the actual a little bit more combat training stuff. But they don't really teach you combat until you go to a different school.
Did anybody pick on you? I mean, like, again, if you watch Full Metal Jacket or any of those movies, they show a lot of the stuff, like whether it's other Marines or they're not
Yeah.
even Marines, right? You're in boot camp, you're gonna be a Marine. Was Is there any actual of that, any bullying? I know you're actively, so you can't say a lot, but I mean, is it as
No,
bad as people think, or
no, it's probably worse.
oh, it's worse? Shit.
Like it's because it's more
Physically or verbally?
it's mostly verbally,
Just
mostly
yelling
verbal.
at you.
Yeah, from time to time they'll give you like a little kick, a little like push or something, but it's you just can't be a bitch.
But now that everybody's so sensitive, is there any issues with that? Are
Oh
they
my
now
god.
limited? Because back in the days, even I could tell you, I know that your family, they're also of Mexican heritage.
Yeah.
I actually grew up in Mexico until I was 12, and I always screw around. I always like to get attention for the wrong reasons growing up, so I would do stupid things, right? And just to get the attention, I guess. I don't know that's what I was doing it, but in Mexico, doing elementary, if you do kind of like one time I put gum on my teacher's chair, she got stuck on his pants and whatever. So then, like, next thing you know, he sends me off to this. We have lemon trees in the school and El Rancho, and I have to cut a branch, give it to him, put my hands out, and I get smacked on my hands. It hurt, but everybody's just laughing, and I'm like I'm getting, I guess, what I wanted.
Yeah.
But now, if you can't do that here, man, you're not gonna have kids even
No.
touching you. So that's what I mean by now that we are in a culture where like is everybody gets offended by every little thing, but you're trying to forge men soldiers. Have you
Yeah,
noticed how that impacted
it's
him?
like it's like yeah, they gotta be hard on you, and it's not like in the movies, or it's not like in the shows where they're uniform and they know what they're gonna say in the show, in the act. It's more spontaneous, and it's way more not what you expect. And yeah, they do all. There's some clips out there that give you a little glimpse of
Hmm.
they don't know they're being recorded, but
You
it,
ever
it's it's
cried?
it's. Oh yeah, the first day of boot camp I cried, and then one day where the drill instructor was preaching to us about war, about you can't you can't be a bitch, essentially, because if you give up, if you're weak, that's gonna cost a life to somebody to left or right of you. And so that made me cry. I was like, man, I gotta be strong, because I know they want to go home too, as much as I want to go home.
Right.
So he gave us. I cried there, and yeah, and it's
So you've been
yes,
there for a year now.
yeah. I've been in the Marine Corps for a year and 9 months.
What's your? I know you just got a promotion.
Yeah,
What's your current rank?
E4 corporal. I
E4.
just promoted
I
couple
have no
days.
idea what that means, but
So yeah,
E4.
E4. So it's a non-commissioned officer. So you're like it's one rank below sergeant, just to give you an idea.
Do people in the boot camp have to salute to you or not yet?
No, no, no. You don't salute to enlist. You salute to officers. So
Only
if it's
officer?
shiny,
Yeah.
you salute. Yeah.
So you got nothing shiny on you?
No, no, no.
Besides that buckle for the 100 miler?
Yeah.
Okay, but you're in there. How long are you there for? Like you have a like you have a contract?
Boot camp is 3 months, and
Hmm.
my contract is 4 years. But, you can
Four
read.
more years, or you're already 4 years in? A couple years in.
No, I'm a year and 9 months in, so I have about 2 years and change left. Yeah.
And do you know right now that like you want to be in the military, like on the long haul career, or you already thinking you want to do something else after your 4 years? Or you don't know yet?
I really want to do something that has to do with running, whether it's doing it at a higher level or doing something uh, with running.
You can coach or do something
Yeah,
in like a Camp
something along
Pendleton?
those maybe, but if anything, I'll do another year. You don't have to do another whole 4 years, but you can do a little bit at a time if you
Hmm.
want. Um, or I can always cut hair. I have a passion for that. Whatever I have a passion for, I don't care if it's hard. I want to make money off what I love to do, and I love the military, but I love it that much.
I mean, it just depends, I guess. You only know what the life is like. I mean, you're away from family for sure. But again, I really think it's pretty awesome. Like at 20, being away from home, and now you're a man. Now you're learning to be on your own, and I think it's a great thing, man. So, again, that's I wanted to get a little bit of his background with the Marines. So, you just mentioned about running, so let's shift into running. You said that leading up to boot camp, you ran a mile and you thought that was pretty much badass. So when did you get time? Because I know when you're doing boot camp, you probably didn't have
Whatever.
you probably don't have a lot of time to be doing whatever you want. You're going through boot camp, but once you were done with that, when did you first like started running consistently, or was there a race that I know Camp Pendleton has some rod months and other
Yeah.
stuff?
So
What was your first one?
so I actually started running ultras before I joined the Marine Corps.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so at 17, I was talking about David Goggins' book, where
Hmm.
in one of the chapters, he's talking about if you have something you want to do, sign up and do it. Put it on the calendar. Matter of fact,
Hmm.
stop reading this, put it on the calendar, and go do it. And so I was like, fuck, I want to do a marathon. And I did it in like 6 hours, but I was like, I'll put it the date, and I was like, what's the route? So I just put a random point on the map. It's 26 miles. I was like, all right, I'll do it in 10 days. So in those 10 days, I was like, I would do like loops around my house, in my neighborhood, and I would do like 3 miles, and I moved to 5 miles, and I did like 10 miles one time, and then I was like, okay, I'm good.
Was that a road marathon?
It was road. It's a
A
little bit on the
city?
city. It
Was
was
it like
all
a
about,
known
it's
one?
self-supported.
What's the name of it?
It's just,
Oh,
no, it's
like a
like,
virtual one?
no, it's just me.
Oh, you just
Like,
did it. It's
I
not no.
didn't
You didn't
even,
get a medal, basically. You did it, but you just did the distance.
it's just like going for a long run,
Got it.
basically.
Got it. Got it.
So because I didn't know you could just sign up for a marathon. I didn't know races were a thing. I thought it was only like for people like you go to the
Professionals.
NFL and stuff like that. It was like,
Got it.
oh, you got to go to college. No, I didn't think it was like a ultra sign up was the thing. I didn't know that. So I just went out and I planned this one. I got hooked on it immediately. I got to the 26 miles. I told mom to pick me up, and she said my eyes were red a little bit because like you're like so high from the run, and you're like just like. And I sat down on my chair outside my house when I finished that 26 miles, and I was like, man, the growth that I got from that, yeah, I got a little glimpse of what it's like to um,
But how'd you,
get better off of running.
but how'd you go from like again the 1 mile and you say you start running around
Yeah,
the neighborhood, but what was your longest run before that?
probably like 10
26.
miles.
Okay, so you went
I jumped super quick.
so 10 miles and you just go do a marathon. So so when you say that you got hooked, what was it about? What
It
did you
was the
find in running?
it was the pain and the overcoming of that pain and me. So I would get this pain and I would like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. I actually doubled down in pain. It was just like a
And your ribs.
It was just like just stupid stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
That
Aches.
aches. And I was like,
Mhm.
oh my god, this is the end of the world. And I would and I would just keep on going. And I would get I got hooked on the overcoming miles and I'm gonna stop, but no, I keep going, and how that translates into daily life.
Do you think that I mean, I think self confidence or of self esteem issues at that age that everybody goes through it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Girls, everything. Like I know, and I think that's probably one of the things that everybody. It doesn't matter the age. I think we enjoy doing going from doing a bubble run. I think that was the first thing I did, a bubble run, and then getting hooked on for me and Spartan races. But I think it's the same feeling that you're saying. It's like doing hard things and just knowing that you fucking accomplished that. Something that you could have never thought like like you said, a marathon. How can I do a marathon? So you got hooked in there, and so from there on, you just continue to run into what the next big distance.
Yeah, I didn't. I think I did that before I did that at 17, and then I was like, well, I want to do a marathon on my 18th birthday. So when I did 25 miles, I was 1 mile short because on the route back home, my grandma saw, oh my God, happy birthday. She was like, get in the car.
They-
And I was like, fuck, whatever. And I got drive home. I was treated so well because I was like, you know the feeling. After you finish 25 miles, you're just like,
yeah, they probably thought you were crazy.
and they were just, I was watching the Rocky movie. And okay, after that, I think I did like a 30 miler. And then one day I was out for a long run, spontaneous. It's like Forrest Gump. You go, you know what? I think I'm gonna go a little further, a little
Yeah.
further. And at some point, I was like 30 miles in. I was like, I'm gonna do 100 miles because I was already deep into David Goggins' knowledge and philosophy and all this other runners people. And I was like, you know what? I want to test myself and I want to go try to run 100 miles. I quit at 50 at midnight, and I said I'm gonna go inside the house into my aid station and grab like some food and go back outside and start running again, loops. And I just could not fathom the idea of running at nighttime, and that's always been my issue, running at nighttime. But now I'm overcoming it. But I quit, and I remember telling my uncle, he was like, "You're never gonna run 100 miles," and that stuck with me until my first 100 miler, which was this year. But yeah, and then
What's your uncle's name?
uh, what's his name?
What's his name?
Francisco. It's because you know Pancho.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah,
Pancho.
yeah, yeah.
Take that, Francisco. Now he's doing 200.
I mean, it was like one of those comments. It's like, nah. It's like,
I mean, it's kind of crazy though to think that because I was playing soccer at 20. That was pretty much it, and a lot of us. I think you did get to see Ruperto running around our race, right?
I ran with him a
So
little bit.
you did.
Yeah, it was
So
cool.
Ruperto is I think he's gonna be 62, but like his story, he didn't get into running like officially running marathons and things like that until he was in his mid 30s. So again, like the fact that on your own, just by getting motivated by David Goggins, and I'd read his books too, and I got pretty. I will play it, and my kids will be in the car, though, and they probably heard the book too because I played it. Um, but it's not, I don't think it's very common for like anyone in at your age or 18 to 20 to just be on their own running 50 miles, 40 miles. That's pretty unique.
And the
I,
thing
I think.
is, I didn't do it. I didn't do it for attention at all. I hardly told anybody. I didn't have any friends. I swear I didn't have any friends. I didn't have
Yeah,
my.
Instagram or no?
I didn't have I didn't have a phone. I
Oh,
had a
sure.
phone, and what I would do is I would download a Pacer app, and it would count my steps. That's how I knew. And I had like little $5 Walmart thing that would count my steps. And at this point, I was really deep into yogic philosophy. I was even contemplating becoming a monk because I was so obsessed with growth and that kind of stuff. So nobody knew, honestly. Nobody knew what I was doing.
Well, just with that, man, I'm just thinking like whatever you have in the future, I think you're gonna do something big because I keep repeating it though. I don't think it's normal. And when I say normal, it's like so what the fuck is even normal? It's a normal like screwing around, using drugs, not having a future. Is that kind of what it becomes down to? Like normal for like younger people to be not everyone, right? But there's a lot of that. So I do think just speaking freely right now in my mind is like I don't think it's by chance that you already had those inclinations and those kind of things to do.
Yeah, I
Um,
could have chose anything else,
right.
and it could have been any other hobby, and I chose to get obsessed over this, and it was just a.
So if you were talking to, obviously you don't have any kids. Maybe one day you will, if that's what you want. But is there anything that you think that parents or anyone around kids, because it sounds like you kind of picked up all this stuff on your own, just out of kind of your self motivation. But is there anything like maybe become obsessed about something that you like? I don't know. Is there something you will tell anyone like that is in your age and maybe trying to
Yeah.
find their ways, trying to find what they want to do?
Yeah, well, it definitely has to come from you. Like the change has to come from you because if somebody else is telling you, gives you a little TED talk, it's not gonna work. It's not permanent, and it yeah it has to come from you, from a deep desire to want to change. For me, it was always been I want to change, and I want to just be a, do good, do better, and see my full potential. And
Um,
so that's where it can. You just have to come. Just has to come from you, and be the example too, because I didn't come up with ultra running. I got it from David Goggins, so it's always gonna come from somebody. But I feel like if you try to tell somebody or try to like lure them into it, and it might help. I lured a friend into a 50K, and he did, and he finished it. But it like like if you want somebody to like do this, you have to be the example and not tell them, and then they have to see, and then they're gonna want to do it. And if they don't, then it's not, and it's not. I want to
it's
say it's
not
not
for
for
them,
them, because
right?
ultra running is, there's some talented people out there, but I think it's most people do it because they want to change something about themselves, or discover something that it's in them.
I think that's very wise to say because for a long time while I was doing all these sparring races, I started coaching, helping people, complete those races. I made a setup at the house with obstacles, and many times it could be like a couple, right? And it would be like, hey, why don't you talk to my husband or why don't you talk to my wife and ask them to join us or whatever? Because sometimes they're not going to listen to their partners, right? But that's one thing I will always tell them is like, you can't really give. And this is actually from a speech from Eric Thomas. That's one of my, you talk about David Goggins. I was very inspired by David Goggins, but before David Goggins, Eric Thomas, Les Brown were like the motivational speakers that I kind of look up to. And he has a speech that says that you can't give me what I don't want, and that just applies to that. Like I get it. Like you really can't tell people to do anything. It has to be something that they want to do. But I do think that um, that's where social media can come in, even stuff like this, where you just share what you're doing, and somebody will be inspired by you. You will be somebody's David Goggins because they can relate and be like, oh shit, you know what? I'm in high school right now, or I'm 18 and I'm doing the same stuff. I'm smoking weed. I don't really have any. I feel depressed. I feel whatever. But guess what? Like maybe I could find something, whether it's ultra running or any kind of running or any other area, but just get obsessed about something that grabs your interest. Somebody has to have some sort of interest. Even like we joked about it earlier, you talked about Minecraft, but there is kids out there making millions of dollars playing video games online,
Yeah.
posting them on YouTube, recording themselves playing, making millions. So it's not foolish really. Honestly, anything that you can become obsessed about, you can become successful, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I wanted to be a Fortnite World Cup player and all that kind of stuff, but I sucked at it. I sucked at soccer and all that kind of stuff. But you know, growing up, being addicted to the internet and all the vices that come with the internet and all the vices that come with being in high school and all, and trying to fit in. And I'm so thankful that it happened how it happened, how I got kicked out of high school, and I was on my own for such a long time.
Yeah, you definitely have experience solitude, and you can learn a lot by being on your own. Even and the crazy thing about it is like there's things that you have shared that as an adult, I'm 46, dude. There's stuff that I'm barely experiencing that I feel like you already experienced, or I just did it over the last 10 years. So that's why I think it's like, damn, dude, like the sky's the limit because there's a lot of things that you already lived that many people we barely did those things in their 30s or 40s, discovering what we really want out of life. Um, so that's really insightful stuff. But let's like you know add a few things about certain recent experience that you had and the way we met. So I want us to for you to talk about your experience at our Muertos 200,
Yeah,
and then that race that you just did with your teammates.
yeah,
That sounded pretty crazy.
yeah.
And
That
and
was
yeah,
crazy,
so
dude.
let's start with I get a message. I think I got a message from
It was
you.
on a post.
It was supposed something it has to do with like doing the 200 mile the I lost my train of thought.
It was
The
about you.
Muertos 200.
You posted spots filling up on the
Oh yeah, yeah,
100
yeah,
mile.
yeah. So he reached out and he said that he just had completed a 100 miler. What was it? The Pacific. What is it
It
called? San
was
Diego.
South Bay 24 hours.
Yeah. So he ran 100 miles. They have a 24-hour race here, but that's like at a track, right?
It was.
Oh, it's
It,
pretty flat. It's
yeah, I
flat
got about 7,000 feet of climbing
in 100
in
miles. Yeah,
110.
which it's
It,
not flat, but
it's
it,
like slight rolling
right.
hills, barely.
So he says that like he's interested in doing the 200 miler, right? And that's how we connected, and I found it like again, I learned how old he was, and then I was just like, okay, well, most of the people doing R200, they're either in their 30s or 40s. They've been doing this shit for a long time, but he wants to do it and he's gonna do it. So let's fast forward to the date of the race. One thing I want to add, he said earlier that he was scared of the dark and things like that. He did ask me a few things. He was mentioning about spiders and if you guys know how I am, I said like I did literally told him these messages are probably still there. I said, dude, fucking spiders was the least of your
You
worries.
did say that. You said, dude, that's the last thing you gotta worry about, and that helped.
And so then he shows up to the race. So kind of like what were you feeling like once we're gonna move forward all the way when you're standing right there? What was your game plan at the starting lineup? And again, it's a very few of them. It's 9 of them to be exact. And I know you linked up with Andrea, who has done a ton of 200s recently, um, Monster 300, and a lot of them. But what were you feeling like when you were standing right there at night?
And the start line,
Yeah, ready to go.
it was just the calm before the storm. I felt present, and my game plan was to stay with Andrea so that I could pace myself and then later take off.
And why was that your game plan? I know that you did come for the to the pre-run, and you and a few others were freaking running like 7 minute pace on the flats. And I did tell them, I said, if you run like that on the 200, you're gonna drop pretty early, dude, because there's no way you're gonna be able to sustain that.
Hell no.
So I did think it was a great idea to definitely learn stuff from Andrea and get out there. So how was the first lap? You're obviously running and doing a lot of walking that you I've seen him run. Like he's pretty freaking fast runner. But so what was it like? Like the first lap and your first time on the climbs. What were you thinking?
Yeah, it felt adventurous, and it felt like an adventure, like the hero's journey basically. And we started pretty slow. We were walking most of the time. We jogged. We said let's let gravity take us. So on the downs, just kind of just roll with it, run a little bit. Ups, obviously hike it. You don't want to burn yourself out. And we were waiting for Andrea's friend, and he had a drop. So I feel like next year I'm gonna save a lot of time because there's little mistakes that I'm gonna save a lot of time on. And it took us about 8 hours, right? And it was just like the start of the journey. I think it was, yeah.
Your second lap was also about 8:30.
No, the second lap was about not nine.
No, no, 9. No, I think it was kind of it was close enough, but it's not too good. But the thing about it is that when I saw that, I felt more confident. Like the thing about it is like the race is very hard. Not until you do those technical downhills, then you really know. I told everyone, and many people said I done races everywhere, all over the world. I'm sure I'll be fine, and people can do it. Obviously, people did it, but when I saw your guys' times, like 8 hours, 8:30, 9 hours, honestly, I thought like I mean, that's probably not going to win you the race, but at this point, you're trying to finish the race, right?
Yeah,
So,
you
but
never know too.
yeah, but I thought like that's actually a good time. But I think the issues came with like on your third lap, you guys were out there in the fucking sun for like 12 hours. So now
Yeah,
we're at 60 miles. So at that point, I think that's when you separated. Andrea didn't continue, and then now you're on your own. But now you spend, I think, it might have been 2 nights, right, or at least one full night with somebody else. So now you decide, or now you're on your own. So how was it after that when you're on your own?
when I was on my own, I kind of unleashed, and I was like, I'm gonna take off. I'm gonna run hard, and I started running so hard. Like I took off. I had like a monster. I drank it. I put my pack on, and I didn't. I took off walking, so just like well, I got everything. I got my phone, and once I took off like to the beginning of 1.0, I started running. Up. You can tell if Ramiro's watching. He saw me. He saw my headlamp. How fucking fast I was going. And I was, oh my god, I was like, I'm gonna forget about danger, and I started flying down, running up 2.0. I ran up 2.0,
Right.
the whole thing, and later, and then once I got to La Llorona, I texted Ramiro, and I saw looked around, his headlamp was down there, and I was like, dude, hurry up, come on, and he's like, dude, I'll see you later. And I start flying down 2.0, like flying. And I get down and I'm like, dude, I just ran down 2.0 like I stole something. And he started laughing. I like he put like the laughing emojis. We're texting back and forth
Yeah.
the whole race. Dude, where you at? Where you at, dude? Where you at? And I going fast as fuck. But the thing is, I'm already about to be 80 miles in. I'm so sleep deprived. While I'm so fast and I've never experienced sleep deprivation like this. I feel like if I hadn't taken that 3 hour nap when I got to Bernasconi, I would have finished, not finished, but I would have been way faster.
So between your mile six, or like about mile 70, which would have been your fourth lap, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
By the
about
time
mile
Bernasconi,
73 with Rocky and Lorena and them, you lay down for a 3 hour nap,
probably like 2 hours,
2 hours.
1.5, 2 hours, because I was hallucinating so bad. Like I
How,
would see
how many hours have you been up by then?
probably like
30 maybe, 40?
probably like 30 to 40.
30, 40 hours. Yeah, that's a long time. Though. That's one of the, honestly, being done a lot of those night events. The sleeping part is the worst, bro. It fucking sucks. It just sucks. So you take a nap. Were you able to like people do ask those questions? What do you guys eat? How do you sleep? And you'll find that everybody has a different answer. Just off my head, I know that Hannibal do slept quite a bit, but then I think he would have won the race if he didn't sleep that much. But at the same time, he probably would have not been recovered the way he was running, right? So it just varies. But for you, were you able to fall asleep right away after you had been
Yeah.
sleep deprived?
They put like the reclining chair on me, and I closed my eyes and I went to sleep pretty quickly. And I did have, obviously you don't sleep. It's not really sleep, honestly. You're just barely resting. You're so jacked up. You're fight or flight. You're on survival. You're almost like in a survival mode. And they woke me up, and the sun was. You could finally see the gray of the sky. And I was like, okay, it's time to get up and go. It was freezing, so I had to like warm myself up.
What time of the day was this?
This was like around 6, 7, maybe
Okay.
in the morning.
So the sun came out, kind of good timing, I guess, if you're
Yeah.
waking up.
And by that time I would have already been there. But anyways, I take off and I get to about that mile 80 point, and that was probably easy, quick transition into 80 to 100. And 80 to 100 was one of the hardest, if not the hardest loop that I had.
Your fifth loop.
My fifth loop.
Do you remember roughly how long it took you to do those laps?
From
Because I know it was
up to 100 miles,
well, because I know that your first lap again it was like 8:30. Second was like maybe 9, and then you had the 12 hour. Then you go on your own. How long did that one take you?
like 7 hours.
Yeah,
7 hours, maybe close to 8, but definitely under 8.
Yeah, that's pretty quick.
It
So-
would have been like a it would have been like a 6:30 if I would have not slept, or
Oh
probably like
yeah,
a 6
definitely,
flat.
definitely. But you're
That was
saying
the
that get
fast.
get and again, so show me your buckle. I don't know if you could see the buckle.
Yeah.
So one thing is like he did earn this 100-mile buckle, and just to clarify a few things, I had already decided that somebody's little dog. I had already decided. Typically, if you sign up for a 50K or I mean a 100K and you drop out 50K, I don't give you a medal 50K. The thing about it is like in 3 years, uh, we had a total of like less than 50 finishers on the 100 miler. So in this case, he did drop at a mile. Going ahead of a little bit on the story, he did drop at mile 160. But if you compare 160 fucking miles of my race, I had already decided before the race that if anyone got within the 48 hours, which he did, and got 100 miles, let alone 160, he was going to earn the buckle, at least 100 mile. But I was not going to tell anyone because I don't want it to encourage for them to drop. So you were saying that reaching the 100 mile was like one of the hardest. What was it?
It was the hardest
What was
point,
that made it harder?
and I feel like what made it hard wasn't what made it hard, if that makes sense. It's the accumulation of the first mile to the 100 mile, and I think it was chafing for sure. And it I remember this one section where I started like like the concrete stretch.
Yeah.
I started crying and I started throwing my poles. I was like, I found like my limit. That was my limit because my body did not want to go,
Right.
and I was like, fuck, just go, just one step. I don't care if don't just the point was don't stop, one step at a time. And my shoulders would slump, and I was like, fuck, and I would just keep crying. I was like, and I like fucking scream, like it was the worst. It was the worst. I mean, it was not fun. But I baby steps, and
Where
but I
did
was
your
chi-
shave?
it was my thighs and my back.
Oh, your back?
My back. So what happened is
Sweat?
I don't know what it was. So my back was rubbing, So if you
Oh shit! Hold on, hold on. So
so
go,
shit.
we're good.
So if your pack
It's
is
freaking windy, dude. Go ahead, keep talking.
so if your pack is rubbing in your back, it would create this chafe, and it was so painful. So guess what you had to do? You have to take off your pack. Damn, I like how it's warm right here.
Yeah,
And
we're freezing by the way, guys.
yeah, that's why I'm like, if you see me like this, it's because it's
Yeah.
freezing. But um,
Keep good the story. I'll take care of that.
so it was either one or the other. It's either I have the pack on, and I keep running with the paint on my in the pack, which was it was very hard. I mean, if you go run for 5 miles and you chafe, you can probably push through it, and it's not gonna feel mentally as hard as this did. But being 90 miles in or something, I had chafing in two spots, which is there's no saving myself. I had to keep going in pain. The only thing that would help ease the pain is sprinting. Literally, like 6 minute miles was the only thing that would help me not feel that pain in the chafing in my thighs and in my back. So I stopped crying. I was like, all right, I just get me to the aid station. Body, mind, get me to the aid station and let me just get this taken care of. I had talked to my crew. They said, just get over here, we'll tape you up. So I get there, and this is when all of you that did the 100 milers showed up, and all of the cars and the people and the energy was so, you could feel the energy from down Terry Peak. I saw all the cars, and I was this close to breaking down in tears as I see everybody's cheering me as I come into the 100 mile mark. Everybody's like getting ready to do their 100 miler, and like I think this was like 1 or 2 in the afternoon or 3 in the afternoon, and you guys took off like at what is it 6,
Mm-hmm.
6:30. So
What were you at the moment? So I kind of missed it. I was.
yeah, okay, so yeah, so
What,
I go through the chafing, I go through the
yeah, but
pain.
where mile were you when you saw everybody?
It was mile 100.
No,
When
I know, but where in the course? I guess where were you when you saw the lights?
I was going from 100 to 120.
Were
When
you at the starting line now?
no.
That's what I'm saying. When did you see?
No, okay.
What part of the lake were you when you saw the like people taking off in the lamps and
No,
all
no, no.
that?
I didn't see people taking off. I see people like just gathered.
Oh, got it.
They were gathered. They were just like gathered, waiting, saying hi to each other, getting ready for the race. And yeah, was about to cry. I didn't. I sat down, got my stuff taken care of, and then I just kept going. I think did I have a pacer on this one? I don't
Is that
remember.
when Mark went with you?
It might have been. Yeah, yeah. I think yeah, it was when Mark came with me.
Right.
And when we took off, I was so excited. I told this dude, I'm back to life. I just went through such a low. I'm back to life because I'm gonna see all these people. I mean, you talk to anybody that did the 200, they were all so excited. They were all like, dude. I talked to Ramiro. He was like, dude, finally, dude, there's gonna be fucking people. It feels so alone. I mean, I didn't feel so lonely because I had Andrea with me the whole time. We were just yapping. Mark and Molly were with me, so we were all yapping. But it still felt very lonely. So seeing all the headlamps, I got like a new surge of energy.
So
My
that's sorry to interrupt, but that's one thing that so some of you guys that don't know much about the race. So this was the first year of 200 the 200 miler. Not only that, but going back to again 3 years of the race, you have more than 50% that don't finish the 100 miler. So when we put on a 200, I already knew there was like I was thinking, who the hell is even going to sign up for this? So the fact that we had 9 people and 9 showed up, that's pretty crazy, right? So it's just so you can have a mental picture of it. If you've ever been in the trails by yourself, when you think of even 100 people spread on a trail, it's actually not that much. But when you're thinking of 9 people spread up in one trail, it's very lonely. And we're talking about Wednesday. The rest of the race didn't start until Friday. So we had 140 plus runners on Friday. But before that, it was just them out there. And if anything, Brian dropped pretty early. So
mile
that's
13.
one less one. So again, going back to his story, and then he can pick it up as that, is like I already knew that it was going to be tough shit for those that were doing the 200. But I was hoping exactly what he said, that when everybody else joined in on Friday, that they were gonna bring a little bit of life to them because they had already been out there for 100 miles basically.
Yeah, and I caught Ramiro, and it was me, Ramiro, and Mark. This is probably one of my favorite parts of the whole race because we're just talking, we're bullshitting, we're just running, having fun. And Ramiro's energy, dude, was I I was like, dude, how is it? This dude is strong. This dude is tough because he had this energy and he was so positive and he just kept on going. What happened, my mistake was, and this mistake cost me a lot. This mistake cost me a lot. And that was when I should have let that energy that those people doing the less distance races, instead of using all the energy in one sprint, I should have spread it out. I saw all the people going up 2.0, and I followed them.
Uh,
Like I started running up Terry Peak once again. I started going balls to the wall up not Terry Peak 2.0. And I start sprinting down with this is where I started Ruperto.
oh, okay.
And so flying down 2.0, Ruperto's right in front of me, and I'm like, dude, what's your name? Are you Ruperto? He's like, oh yeah, this is me, dude. Like, dude, you run so nice, like, and I was like in a, I was about to pay the price of what I was doing to myself. And I get down and Mark, he's like, dude, just slow down. Dude, this is not your race. These people are doing the 100 miler. You're doing the 200. And
You
these are
already
people,
did 100 miles.
I just
These
did
people are
what,
fresh.
and maybe I shouldn't have stopped because when I stopped, I'm telling you, I mean, I had left. So what happened is I didn't stay with Ramiro because he stayed back. And you know that long stretch before you get to the switchbacks leading to 2.0?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
a super long flat. We left him there, and he were like, well, he's going to catch up. I know he's going to catch up, and he did. And I'll tell you that story right now. But that's when I started slowing down so bad, dude. And we got up to Terry Peak, and we got up Terry Peak before there was like God knows how many runners coming down Terry Peak, and Mark thought I was behind him, and he kept going down Terry Peak. And he's like, dude, come on. I'm like, dude, I'm up here. And then what started happening is I kept remembering King of Moab, Max Jolliffe, and he was saying, my legs are just done, shot.
Right,
Like I'm
right.
all, God knows. So subconsciously, I was saying that. I was like, dude, my legs are done. My legs are done. And he was down there, and I'm laying. So you know, like on that part down 3.0 where you kind of have to jump
Yeah, from the rock.
from the
Yeah,
rock.
yeah,
I
yeah.
was laying in that rock as runners are passing me by. They're all like, "Dude, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Dude, my legs are done." And so by the will in me, I got down, and so this was probably also one of probably the second hardest part of the whole race because I would walk and then I would literally fall to my knees and then fall to my hands and
Oh
then
shit.
fall on the ground completely. I did that about 4 times. And Mark was like, dude, stop. You got to get up. I cursed him out. I was like, dude, just shut up and let me fucking sit down for a minute.
Mark, so by the way, with our race, a lot of people like Jimmy, we talked about in the podcast. He didn't bring pace. He didn't bring nobody. It was the craziest thing because a lot of the 200s, even Andrea, she put it. We put it out there on social media, and a lot of people did hit her up and showed up. But we had almost no one really had like actual pacers. What you got to remember too is that, we talked about it with Jimmy, is that we think of this stuff of the distance like it's like anything, right? Like nothing. Like all of our friends are doing all this shit, but on the real world and most of the general public, nobody's running just 20 miles, 40 miles on the dime, like just out of nowhere. So, but even like Mark, like he, I don't think necessarily was like like someone that was signed up for months to help him on this run. It's more like people showed up, people came to help, but it is hard. But one thing that we got to remember, of course, we want to be nice to everyone, right? To volunteers and everyone. But I do ask pacers and volunteers to have a little bit of patience with the runners because you can't even imagine. Go if you want to know the feeling, just come and do the 20-mile loop once, and then think about doing that shit 10 times, and is more brutal than you can even hear him describe it. So the shaving part, all of that sucks. And this is what, mile 100 to 120.
Mile 100 to 120. And and
So
you know what pissed me off, dude,
yeah.
is on the preview loop, we're going on the concrete all the way to Pernisconi.
Hmm.
You added slightly more elevation by taking us through the trails parallel to the road. So I would look at the road like, damn, that's flat. And that would so this happened like 4 times, right? And this is one of my favorite stories of all time. And Ramiro, if you're hearing this, you know, I got like on my last like fall down. I fell down. I was like, Mark, let me just nap, dude. Let me just nap. He didn't know what to do. Like, I apologized to him later on. I apologized to him like 3 times, dude. I'm sorry. I know I was an asshole. He's like, it's all good. But anyways, I was laying down there at my worst, and there's a video out there too of me just barely crawling, and headlamps are cruising by. Hey, you guys need anything? You guys need anything? 50 milers, 100 miles, whoever, the other people. And I'm like, nah, man, I'm good. I'm just not having a good time. And this other headlamp comes up and it's Ramiro. I'm like, it's just another runner. He
Yeah.
stops cold. He's like, dude, what the fuck happened, dude? And I'm like, dude, my legs are shot. Dude, get the fuck up. He's like, dude, he like slapped my fucking, he's like, get the fuck up. Let's fucking go. Come on, let's fucking go. And that gave me a little bit of energy. And we actually started jogging and I started running like, and he fed me. He gave me some food, but he was like, "Dude, stop being a bitch. Just get up. Let's fucking go."
And mind you, you never met Ramiro, and then I met Ramiro at the race too, and eventually he went on to win the actual race. So, for context, like that's who Ramiro is.
Yeah, and yeah,
That's
he
great.
was tough the whole. He was very strong the whole time. Obviously, it's hard, but
But you're already like this is not even this is between a mile 100 and 120. So let's just forward to how'd you even get to 160, and then I can pitch in a little bit of I'm the one that picked him up a mile one after 160. So how did you even drag yourself to do 40 more miles? Which everything you described from falling down, being shaved, already pretty much hitting the wall at 100. How, and I'm telling you, I don't think.
I didn't mention my IT band pain. I li-
Uh,
I so I when you asked me when did it start, and I said a mile like 100. It started
right.
at mile 60. It was slight, and I told Andrea, "Oh, next loop I'm gonna put the band on." I mean, if you guys saw me, I had this band
Mhm.
on both of my knees at some
Right.
points. It kept switching it around. It started pretty early, but yeah. So you said from what? Oh,
Yeah, so like, and again, I think for a lot of the people that I talked to who did even the 100 miler, a lot of the things that are going on with your body, there's just so many of them. And then you're also just sleep deprived for so long that a lot of times you're not even gonna remember some of the things that you felt. But
yeah.
so
Hopefully this is
from
like the air. I don't want it to like
n-
buffer the sound.
no, I think
I think it's probably good.
it's pretty good. We'll figure it out either way. We're
Yeah.
having a good conversation, even if it's just me and you. but
Fuck it.
but the point is that um, again, if you just go and do the 20-mile loop, you're looking at depends on what level you're in. But for most people, you'll fall within like 7 to 9 hours. Either way, it's a long fucking time, one loop. So, how did you even with all these different issues? How did you even get from the mile 100 with all those issues to 160 completed? You completed 160.
Yeah.
How did you even manage? I mean, mentally, because
That was the mental game.
physically, you're already fucked pretty much.
That's when the mental game started for me. That's when I started basically record breaking myself because I wanted to quit when I hit mile 100 because I said, okay, I've surpassed myself on every level. And going back to that podcast we did with Hannibal, he said, yeah, you grew as a person, you grew as a runner, but you failed at the task. And I remember that so much, and it's so true. And I like how he didn't just pat me on the back. I like how he's hard. He's hard on me for that. And anyways, so
So that thing with he's talking about with Hannibal is a podcast that hasn't come out yet. But I do get it. And so basically, what he's saying is that we were sitting on this podcast, and of course, he's getting a lot of praise. A lot of people, even though what Hannibal says is like he basically quit. He gave up. He was there to do 200s. He gave up, and he only got 160. But yes, I get both sides of the story because, yeah, for a learning experience and moving forward, yeah, you felt that particular mission, right? But it's like they say, you live to fight another battle.
yeah,
What I
yeah,
mean by that is let's get to the point, I guess, where you drop. So I already know that you left you got 2 more laps, and yes, sitting at home or even sitting there, you can say, dude, you already did fucking no, eight
eight,
laps, 8 laps,
yeah,
2 more fucking laps. But I'm freaking telling you, even on a fresh body, that 20-mile loop sucks. It's very demanding with 160 miles under your legs and your body and the sleep, those 40 miles is not a joke. One thing that I don't know, take a little responsibility is that it doesn't matter how old they are. I feel in a way a little responsible for everyone out there on my race. And one thing is that I'm very aware of, especially with the 200s where they were. And when he went now, I already know that he's been in the pancake for a long time. And I reached out to him. He did answer the phone, and I was on the off-road vehicle, and I basically started talking to him and asking him like, what is it like? And he's talking about his IT bang, his knee. So we're talking about potentially damaging his knee. Again, he is in active duty. He has a job to do after that. So I did feel like I encouraged a little bit, like telling him like, hey man, stay where you're at. I'm gonna come pick you up if you're ready to. That I didn't really encourage him to. Hey, keep going, man. Suck it up. I feel like I don't know if I would have done that. Like, would he pushed another loop? But I feel like he would have injured himself for good. So he didn't. So he lives to fight another day. He signed up for 2026 or next year, and I actually have no doubt that he will finish it. But I even feel like it will be a very competitive race. But I feel like he has potential to even podium. That's what I think. But of course, you know, Ramirez gonna, improve. Everybody's gonna improve
Everybody's it's gonna
and
be
level
hard.
up.
It's gonna be very
Um,
hard.
so I think we might have to wrap this up pretty soon because we're freezing and the freaking phone is it fell earlier. But
Yeah.
I want to close it with is that just a couple of observations that I made. So after that, everything that he went through, he actually stayed around um, and helped us out, put away all of our stuff on Sunday. Picking up all the stuff. The race, all the work that goes into the race is weeks and months before the race, is days before to set up, and days after to tear down everything that we brought in. And he stayed with us, and he ends up actually staying at the house. He stayed over, take him to Camp Pendleton the next day, I believe. And what was that?
Yeah.
A week later? A week later, he's freaking running the 6 hour race where he's run 30 miles.
35.
Fast forward, I think was it a couple weeks later, he teams up with Ramiro and Joseph, and they go. And there's a whole different story for that
Oh
race.
yeah.
But I think when we get him
Man.
together with Ramiro and Joseph, we'll tell the story. But
Yeah.
essentially, they went on to run like an unofficial 100 miler on their own. So that the mental toughness that you already had going into this, and whatever you got out of the 200 miler and what you continue to do so is going to take you to places. Um, in the sport of ultra running, I mean, there's a few people I know that you've been talking to, and you want to work with is it Michael McKnight?
Yeah. Already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's linking up with Coach. He's if you guys don't know who Michael is, he's a previous record holder of the Triple Crown, right?
Yeah.
He's a badass. One Cocodona and a bunch of other races. I had a recent interaction with him, and I would just say that a lot of people do good things behind closed doors. Not everything is in front of a camera, and God bless Michael for that. So, with that said, anything that we're gonna wrap this up and just say, when I say like follow them on social media and stuff like that, there's a lot of us we do get caught up a lot of times on social media with memes, nonsense. But honestly, there's a lot of people that like, or at least the people that I'm trying to have a conversation with, I believe that they bring something to this world, something that whether it's to someone that can relate to his age, and it doesn't have to be someone like in his 20s to get something out of this message. But maybe it could be like maybe I'm 25, maybe I'm 30, and like damn, this dude at 20, he's fucking getting out there and training hard, take care of his body and doing 200 milers or attempting to do 200, doing 100 milers, whatever is it that you want to do. What will you tell them? Like anyone that wants to do something, but they're like they don't know that they can do it, they're afraid of
Just
it.
just do it like I did. I mean, I opened Goggins' book and he said it. Just go do it. And I feel like I don't want to say like come full circle, but like he inspired me, and if I can do that, then I feel like that's I paid what he gave. It's like it's not free. He inspired me, and it's not free. So maybe if I can get somebody just to go run a mile or something, that'd be pretty cool. But just do it, and it's not gonna be perfect, you know.
That's fucking awesome, man. And those are truly, honestly, like wise words because I say it even if only 10 people, and it's not 10 people. Only let's say only 10 people watch this video. They're pretty long videos, right? I watch a lot of. He loves podcasts. I love podcasts.
Yeah.
We could sit there and listen to someone talk for fucking 2 3 hours. Uh, but even if one person got something out of it, 30 seconds out of it, a minute, and they go and get motivated by it, then we did our job, and that's what I agree with him with paying it forward. We all done what we done in the sport of ultra running. We follow our passion. It always feels nice to hear someone say, "Oh, you inspired me to do this." But at the end of the day, hopefully that's what we're all trying to do. Inspire each other and inspire others. So with that said, I want to thank Jorge, which by the way, this was very last minute. Tune in for tomorrow. I'm gonna be sitting down with Christian,
Christian.
who just ran 50K
Seven
7 days,
seven continents.
7 continents,
Yeah.
which is freaking insane. I mean, just go out of your house and run 50K every day. That's fucking hard.
Yeah.
But if you also know what it takes to travel, dude, to
Like
go
the
from airport to,
logistics.
that's just crazy. I can't wait to talk to him. But for Jorge was like a last minute thing. I've been wanting to do this, but it was the last minute to get down here to San Diego. But he took the fucking bus over here,
The train.
the train, and I don't know how he got here, but he made it here. We improvised. We're sitting outside. Freaking the Pacific Ocean is fucking cold, but yeah. Hopefully with this little interviews, we bring people that you guys can get something out of it. So I'm gonna go around, sign off, and
Yeah.
get warm.
Yeah. Sorry if I stutter a lot or
Nah,
stammer my words.
you did great, brother.